Hello, hello. I'm just trying to get everybody set up here. Okay. Let me go in the group, my live video in the group. I want to go live. Oh, man. I think I just did something wrong. All right. I got to redo it. All right. Got to go in the group and go live. Where is it? Sorry, I'm just trying to find the event and go live in the event. It's not doing it. Oh, here I am. Hi. Hello. Hi. I'm right. I'm in the group now. They're waiting for the camera. Why is my camera not working? Ladies, there's nothing like having technical. Hi, Becca. So it says I have viewers, but you know who I don't see? Me. I don't see me, and I don't know why. This is kind of weird. For some reason, waiting for camera. I don't know why I'm not on camera. That's the first time this has happened. You see me? Well, I don't see me. That's weird. Okay, so you know what? As long as you see me. So hi, Becca, Patrice, Jade. Hey, May Jen, Patrice, Missy, Yesenia. All right. Okay, let me just go back to YouTube for a second. All right. I don't know what's going on. I seem to have technical issues every time I do this. Hi, Taylor. Okay. So today I'm coming on and I'm really excited about this today because I'm actually taking, I've done 4 or 5 lives and I'm actually combining them to give you this live. So I called it, Are You Listening to What Your Body is Telling You? It's really important. The reason why I am doing this particular live is because I'm listening to all those comments you're making. And all those comments, are basically focused around how you feel. How you feel. You're so focused on how you feel. So I gave a live on symptoms a while ago. No, actually, not too long ago. But I really felt the need to talk about all of this again. Okay. So let's just talk about symptoms. Okay. Because, ladies, I'm going to tell you right now, a lot of you are stuck, right? You feel stuck in the anxiety. You're focused on the symptoms. Focusing on the symptoms, you feel more fear. You feel that in your body. You feel those symptoms and you just feel stuck. You don't know what to do because you say you're doing everything. And guess what? You're still stuck. So let's dive into this and get an understanding, have more awareness of why this is happening. So as you come on, say hi. We're going to talk about the body. Are you listening to it? Are you understanding those symptoms that you're getting? Are you reading them well? So what is a symptom? All right, a symptom is basically a side effect of what you're feeling in the body. It's alerting you to something that's happening in your body. So this is why we need to listen, because when you feel that heart racing, or when you feel your gut spinning, tightening, and you feel like, you can throw up and you feel nauseous, or if you feel dizzy, what is it telling you? I just did a whole post in the group the other day about what is the symptoms you're having? What are those symptoms telling you? Because I wanted you to be aware that those symptoms mean something. They mean something. Now, it's very important that when we feel a symptom, okay, we have to understand that symptom, we have to assess it at first. So if you're, let's say, sitting on the couch, minding your own business, and then all of a sudden you feel a symptom. Okay, let's pick the heart racing. You're on the couch, your heart just starts racing out of the blue. Why? I don't know why. Why is the heart racing? Okay, so we start making these interpretations in our head. Why is my heart racing? Like we start asking ourselves questions, we start focusing on it. Why is my heart racing? I don't understand why my heart's racing. I don't understand. I'm just sitting here. I'm minding my own business. Nothing's happening. I'm just on the couch. Maybe you're watching TV. Maybe you're reading a book. My heart's racing out of the blue, and I don't know why. Okay? So if you know your body, you understand how it works, you can answer that question. It's called having awareness. Awareness of your body, of the symptoms that you're feeling. And if this is not a symptom your body usually has, what do I do about it? But the thing is to remain calm. And I know that's hard to do when you have a symptom that is not normal to you. But what does it mean to have awareness? Now, if you're someone who usually watches me, follows me, I say awareness is always, always, always the first step. Awareness is key because it means you have knowledge. It's you getting a really good understanding of what it is you're experiencing. How do you know what to do if you don't have knowledge of what you're experiencing? You need to be conscious of what you're dealing with, because you can't change what you don't acknowledge. So that's awareness. But awareness can sometimes backfire on you. There is such thing as having a little bit too much awareness. And how do you know when you have too much awareness? Well, are you somebody who goes on Google and you should, when you have something, okay, when you have a symptom, you're not ignoring it, you're acknowledging it. That's awareness, okay? But if you're going to go on Google, okay, definitely gain the knowledge, because that's how most of us gain our knowledge. We go to Google because Google knows everything, right? So we research it. We go to Google, or we might read a book about it or whatever. But having too much, doing too much, gaining too much information, believing everything that's out there. This symptom says that I have cancer. This symptom says I'm about to have a heart attack. This symptom says that if I feel it, it means I have 5 more years to live, or I don't know. I'm making things up, but you have to understand that when you read things online, when you read things in pamphlets, they got to tell you every single thing that can go wrong. Doesn't mean that's what's going to happen to you. So if we read every single thing, we have to go into it with the awareness that these are things that are possible, but it may not apply to me. So we have to have this understanding that when we do our research and we bring more awareness, okay, to limit the amount of time that we spend, okay? So when I go on Google, I give myself a good 10, 15, 20 minutes tops. I read, I go, oh, okay, that's what it is. That's what it means. Done. We don't spend all day. Okay. So having awareness is key, ladies. It's absolute key to have awareness. All right. So you have the symptom. The symptom that I was talking about was a racing heart. Now, you feel your heart racing. Now, if this is a symptom that you normally get because you have anxiety, you have anxiety, it's how you're going to, the story you're going to give yourself in your head about what this symptom means to you, if that makes sense. Okay? Because your thought about the symptom, okay, is going to either scare you more or it's going to make you say, oh, okay, I know what this is. I've been checked out. I'm good. The doctor said I'm well. I can relax. It's just anxiety. You see the difference there? What you tell yourself is going to matter. Now, what if you don't know the symptom? What if this is a new symptom? Something that you don't normally get, okay? So let's say you're on the couch, your heart's racing, and you're like, wow, I don't know why this would happen. This never happens, and I don't understand it. What do I do? So your normal reaction is to start to kind of, this is uncertainty here. I don't know what this is. So you start to panic. What if this means that there's something wrong? What if there's something wrong with my heart? What if I'm having a heart attack? I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do about this. And this is where you might start Googling, but not for anything. Google's not going to tell you for sure if you're having a if you're having a heart attack or if it's a panic attack, or it's not going to decipher it for you. It may show you what the difference is. It might tell you some differences, but I'm going to tell you right now, that fear that you feel is not going to let you rest with what you read on Google. You're going to want to go either to the ER or call your doctor and say, this is how I'm feeling. But I'm telling you right now, if you call the doctor and say, I think I'm having a heart attack, your doctor's not going to say, okay, make an appointment. I'll see you next week. He's going to say, go to the ER, because he's got to cover his butt. No doctor should be telling you, come see me if you really feel you're having a heart attack. They're going to tell you to go to ER. So if your heart's racing and you're telling yourself, I'm having a heart attack, you're going to want to be checked out. But maybe that's not the symptom. Maybe it's a symptom where you can wait for the doctor. Okay? You call the doctor and say, I'm having this symptom. I need you to check it. But until you see the doctor, you're not going to rest about this symptom. So that's why you'll hear me say, when you have a symptom, never ignore it. I want you to acknowledge it, but we never ignore symptoms. If you feel a symptom, ladies, and you're saying to yourself, well, I don't know the symptom because I have a condition. You may have a sickness, illness, disease, condition, or it may be your anxiety. How do you know the difference? Well, this is why you need to go to the doctor. Don't ask me. I can't tell you. I don't know what you're going through. If you tell me, Carla, my heart's racing, is that just my anxiety? It can be. I can't tell you anything else. It can be. I'm not going to, I want to give you factual information. And until you're checked out, I can't confirm things for you. Only the person who could do that is a doctor. So please, ladies, if you're having symptoms and you really don't know what they are, you can't tell yourself 100%, this is anxiety. I want you to go to the doctor and I want you to confirm it. And I know a lot of you've done that. Some of you have not because you don't like to go to the doctor. But going to the doctor too will make you feel better because you can say, okay, I've had it all checked out. I'm good. So now you can start talking to yourself differently. Instead of, oh no, what is this? You could go, I know what it is. I went to the doctor. It's not my heart. You see the difference? That's why it's necessary. It is necessary to see a doctor. So that, because what's going to happen is you're going to feel this symptom, you're going to focus on it, you're going to frighten yourself with your talk. And if you don't get it checked out, you're just going to keep adding emotion. And the more you add emotion to the symptom, the stronger it's going to get. The more you're going to feel it, the more it's going to grow, the stronger it's going to get. And your nervous system, okay, starts building up. Like the more you feel it, the more emotion, the more the nervous system's going to be triggered. You're going to get more of the chemicals into your body, and it's going to be just a vicious cycle until you do something different. So going to the doctor could help. Why? Because the doctor can just be like, it's not what you think. Take a deep breath. It's just anxiety. But a couple things here. What can the doctor do for you? The doctor's going to go, well, in this short time we have together, here are some pills. Go see a professional. Go talk to a counselor. Go talk to a coach. Somebody who understands anxiety and what you're going through and can help you. But in the meantime, the quickest thing is here's a pill. Now, ladies, there's nothing wrong with taking medication. Okay? Nothing wrong with it. Stop beating yourself up about it. If you need it, take it for sure. All right? Because it'll help you to deal with the symptoms. It's not going to take away your anxiety for good. It's going to help you deal with symptoms, and that's all it does. But right now, that's what you're focused on, right? And the other problem with this is, do you believe the doctor? Because sometimes what we do is we go to the doctor, but even though he's taken the tests, he or she is taking the test, we're not quite sure we believe what the doctor's telling us, right? We're just like, I hear what you're saying, but I keep feeling these symptoms. He's got to be wrong. Yep, he's got to be wrong. I don't know what test they're taking, but it's got to be wrong because I'm still feeling these symptoms and I don't see a change. Nothing's happening. I started taking the medication. I've been on the medication for a couple of weeks now. Nothing's happening. I don't feel any better. What's going on, right? So we keep hyping up that central nervous system. When we continue to dump the chemicals into our bloodstream, we stay in that vicious cycle, and our thoughts are keep telling us, focusing on that. What could this be? Why do I have this? We keep trying to fix it. It's a vicious cycle, ladies, right? So what we have to do is we have to get to the facts here. Okay, we have to start practicing acceptance. Acceptance. Now, this is something a lot of you have a hard time with, okay? Because you'll say, I'm trying. I have acceptance. I'm trying, but I don't like these feelings. I don't like the way they feel. When are they going to go away? I just want them to go away. But ladies, the more you say you don't like them, the more you keep pushing these feelings away, that's non-acceptance. Non-acceptance equals pain. So what's acceptance? Acceptance is being okay with what you're experiencing. Now, all right, I understand. I'm not okay with how I feel. I mean, I have these symptoms. They're not going away. I'm doing everything that I think is possible. I'm not okay with it, Carla. I get it. But when I say okay, I don't mean that you like it. All right. more like it's acknowledging, accepting the fact of what the doctor told you. It's just anxiety. This symptom is just anxiety. It's calling it out for what it is. Okay? It's feeling it, calling it out for what it is, not giving it a different story. All right. Now it's uncomfortable. Let's not deny that. It's uncomfortable. But what's going to make it more uncomfortable is you trying to push it away. We need to be desensitized to these symptoms. We're so sensitized. We're so focused on them and frightened by them. And the thoughts that are going through our head, because we're telling ourselves all these things about how we're feeling and our situations. We have to change the meaning. We have to change what we're saying in our minds. We have to change that, how we're feeling towards these symptoms. We have to be okay with them. All right? It's just anxiety. Be present and let life unfold as is, not trying to change what is in that present time. We're control freaks. We want to control everything. That's why we've got anxiety, right? We have anxiety because of uncertainty. I don't know what this means. And I heard the doctor say, the doctor absolutely told me that this is not what I thought it was. The doctor confirmed for me that it's anxiety, but yet I just have a hard time believing it. Like there's something about me that doesn't believe it. So you have a hard time accepting it. You have anxiety about your anxiety. But acceptance is key, ladies. Acceptance is key. Awareness is key. Acceptance is key. So if the doctor says that nothing's wrong and it's just anxiety, okay, you don't have any sickness, illness, disease, okay, you gotta take that symptom, understand it's a byproduct of your anxiety, okay? You're reacting to your anxiety. Diffuse the anxiety, the symptom will go away. And why are you anxious? Your central nervous system is triggered because when you first had that stressor in your life, you made an interpretation that triggered everything off. Okay? Is all this making sense, ladies? Before I go on, I need to know that this is all making sense. Tell me, say yes, put one in the chat. Is anything so far need any clarification? Everything's good? All this is making sense. Yes, good. Awesome. Glad to hear it. Thank you, G and Taylor. Okay. So, thank you. Okay. So, let's say you do have a sickness, illness, disease, or some kind of affliction, like some kind of condition that you're going through, okay? Let's just say the doctor says, hey, there is something going on. So what I want you to do in that instance, okay, you have a condition. Yeah, Danielle, I know it's hard. And that's another thing we have to talk about. How you sabotaging yourselves. But we'll talk about that at the end. Okay. You have an illness. Let's say the doctor says, hey, you got something going on. For me, it's autoimmune. Okay. So things become tricky because is it anxiety or is it my illness, my disease, my sickness? Like, which one is it? How do I know? It is a little tricky to know, especially like things like nausea. Nausea is like a symptom of so many things out there, right? So it becomes a little like, what do I do? Ladies, first treat your illness, your sickness, your disease. Okay? Treat that. Have awareness about it. Do you know everything about it? Have great awareness about what it is you were diagnosed with. You need awareness. You need acceptance so that you can say, okay, I know this is also a symptom of what it is that I have. But if I treat my illness, disease, whatever it is that I got, perhaps it will go away. A lot of things like autoimmune, you do not have to take a pill to cure. There are a lot of autoimmune that you can treat naturally. There are a lot of things you can do to make yourself well again. We're going to dive into that in a second. But what I want to say is treat that first, and then all the other symptoms are probably anxiety. Okay. What you usually want is the quick relief. Well, we already talked about medication, but I'm all about long term. I'm all about long term. This is why I do all this. Okay, I'm looking for you ladies to overcome this, get your power back, and start living your lives. You're not going to do that on medication and not doing anything else. I'm sorry to say that. You're not going to do that just by distracting yourself. Something needs to change. So, and basically, right now, what you're doing is you're responding to the symptom. Okay? And when you feel these symptoms, don't avoid them, acknowledge them. That's what awareness is. The anxiety is trying to tell you something. It's trying to tell you that something's going on. But when you are somebody who has become hypervigilant to the feelings, sensitive to the feelings that you're feeling, okay? When you're responding constantly with fear, with anxiety, everything feels like a threat to you. Every little ting in your body, every little twitch, you're like, what's that? What's that? What am I feeling? You become hypervigilant, all right? You're sensitive. This is why we need to desensitize. So what I want to get into at this point is last week, I spoke a lot about the mind-body connection. I don't know if you've all seen that. I'm not going to go over the whole thing today. I did a whole live that was like over an hour last week. That was enough. So, but basically, one of the reasons why we get symptoms, and I feel the need to just touch upon this, okay, is because of the gut-mind connection, all right? The gut, the mind, the gut communicates to the brain, and the brain communicates to the gut. We said that last week, all right? So gut health, the way your gut health is a big contributor to how you feel, the symptoms that you're getting. We have microbiome in our gut that's made up of bacteria, viruses, and fungi. We have trillions of them, trillions of these microbiome, okay? Now, just to give a quick, I'm going to go over the YouTube for a second, just to give a very quick synopsis here. What happens is that your gut, what happens is your gut, when it receives, let's say food, the food goes into the stomach. Now, if you have a very unhealthy diet, okay, and if you're not, you have high stress, unhealthy diet, you're not sleeping right, you're not exercising, your gut's going to feel this. It's going to influence the gut. So your gut starts becoming unhealthy. And what happens is it goes to the gut, all these bacteria, viruses, fungi, if it starts becoming very unhealthy, so you start getting what they call leaky gut. Starts getting leaky gut. You start getting holes in your intestines. Start getting holes in your gut, so that when you are when the gut is needed, like when the gut starts getting signals from the brain, okay, instead of sending the healthy neurotransmitters and the hormones, what it does is once it becomes leaky and unhealthy, okay, those neurotransmitters and hormones they're not working as they should. They start working off balanced. So the gut starts producing chemicals that are not very healthy back into the body. Back into the body. Through the vagus nerve back up to the brain. Now, we also have a second nervous system that goes from the esophagus, couldn't think of the word for a minute, from the esophagus to the rectum, okay? That is called the enteric nervous system. It's part of the central nervous system, but it is from the vagus nerve is from the back of the neck all the way to the gut through the intestines, but it ends in the gut, whereas the enteric, or the ENS, is from the esophagus to the rectum. Okay, so when your gut becomes leaky, okay, because of what I said before, because of your high stress, because of the way you're eating, sleeping, not exercising, you're not taking care, and it becomes leaky, those chemicals now that are being put into your body are inflammatory. This is what causes inflammation in the body. And the more leaky your gut is, the more bad bacteria or the bad bugs in your gut, the more leaky it's going to be, the more inflammation you're going to have. And ladies, more symptoms you may feel. How many of you have things like GERD or irritable bowel syndrome, right? When we feel those, all right, that is a sign that something is off. Symptoms mean that something else is going on. It's indicative of something is going on in the body. Like when you bloat, your gut's trying to tell you something. So, but what happens is when you have these wrong bugs, these bad bugs in the gut, they stimulate the vagus nerve, making it dysfunctional. So And because the other, the E and S, that also becomes dysfunctional. So now the vagus nerve, the E and S, they're all messed up. So all those signals that are going on between the brain and between your abdomen. I mean, by the way, this is why we say we have the second brain in our gut, because of the ENS. It's feeling those bad bugs that we're creating. The bad bugs are sending messages, and they go through the vagus nerve, and everything goes through. It feels in your lungs, your heart. It's in there. So when we're having a reaction, it's sent out to our lungs and our heart as well. Symptoms. These are how symptoms are made. And the vagus nerve feels it all and sends it to the brain. We need to fix our gut and to take care of the vagus nerve. And if we take care of the gut, the vagus nerve, and change how we react to stress, let go of the anxiety, the stress, ultimately it'll fix the gut as well. We fix everything. It all works together. But this is talking from down up. From up and down is what I was saying before. It's when you have your, through your senses, you're stressed because you saw something or heard something, and you made an interpretation. You set off the central nervous system, and it sends out the chemicals. So right now, the brain, the vagus nerve is talking to the brain, sending messages to the gut, because the gut digestive has to be turned off so that we can prepare you for fight and flight. What happens when you're always in that fight and flight? Things get messed up. The neurotransmitters, the hormones, everything gets messed up. Nothing is working optimally. All this making sense, ladies? GERD, yeah, okay. You have GERD, yep. Everybody good? This is making sense? Any clarity? So this is why it's so important to know your body, how it works. Listen, I had GERD really, really bad. Okay? I had GERD so bad. I went to the doctor, instead of sitting with the symptom going, I knew it was my stress. I'm like, okay, I put my body under a lot of stress. I wasn't sleeping well. I had anxiety. I was like, I wasn't surprised that I had GERD. All right. So I went to the doctor because what do I do now? He was like, no, you need to be on medication. I'm like, I do? There's no other way? And he's like, no, you need to be on medication. He literally said, you're going to be on this the rest of your life. Ladies, that didn't sit well with me. Went home. I did my first step, awareness. I made sure I had all the awareness of what GERD was, why I have it. I accepted the symptoms of GERD and why I had them. I treated the GERD first. I changed diet. I slept as well as I could. I had chronic insomnia. I did my best. exercise. I did the best I could to clean myself up, to take care of the stress in my life and practice self-care. Did my best. You know what happened? The symptoms dissipated. The symptoms dissipated. I wasn't feeling them anymore. Not of the GERD. And you better believe I came off that medicine. And that was probably, I want to say, 2016, 15, 16, something like that. I might be off for a year or whatever. And guess what? I haven't needed it since. But if I listened to the doctor and just did what he said, I probably would still be taking the medication. Because I would have listened to all the other doctors and not done my own homework. I would have still have thought that my anxiety was something outside of me that can fix me. It was all my awareness and my acceptance that made me better. Knowing me, understanding my body, having that awareness. So that when I get symptoms again, I know what it is. I know what to do. I know how to handle it. I know what this is. So what happens when you get the symptoms? You acknowledge them. Don't avoid them. Don't ignore them. Acknowledge them for what they are. And if you don't know what they are, this is when you have to go to the doctor and have that confirmation, because you're not going to rest until you do. I know how this goes. If there's any percentage of you that has any doubt about what you're feeling, that's what you're going to focus on. Go to the doctor. Let the doctor examine you. It might be scary because you don't want to know. You're too scared. But you're already scared. You're already scaring yourself with everything you're telling yourself. Wouldn't it be nice to get some confirmation? And if you do know, and even if there's something, you do have a sickness, an illness, a disease, you can take care of it and make things better, right? So feel the symptom. Acknowledge it. Don't avoid it. Don't ignore it. Just acknowledge it. You don't have to even focus on it. Just acknowledge it. You could label it. You don't have to say, oh, it's anxiety again. I mean, maybe you want to give it a name. I know I used to call my period Penelope. I don't remember where I came up with that, but Penelope was my period, right? Some people call Penelope like Aunt Mary, Aunt Jay. I've heard of so many things. Aunt Flo, I have Aunt Flo today. I've heard a number of things. Maybe name your anxiety. I don't know. What do you want to name you? Crazy Willie or, Uncle Joe? I don't know. Name it after somebody that you don't like, or I don't know. Give it a name. There's Uncle Joe again. Oh boy. Okay, Uncle Joe, I feel you. All right. The next thing, accept it. Now, I'm not saying you have to like it, but you do need to accept it. Yeah, here's Uncle Joe again. I know. You're here to tell me that I'm being hypervigilant and I'm too focused on this, or something's going on. That's okay. I know you're just a symptom of anxiety. It's not going to hurt me. I'm good. I'm all good. It's okay. And then change your focus, because the more you focus on it, the more it's going to grow, especially the more you focus on the symptom with a negative light, negative energy, negative thoughts, negative talk. It's going to grow. That makes sense, ladies? Do you see the connection? Because some of you are like, what do thoughts have to do with it? Why do my thoughts matter? It's not just about thoughts. No, it's not just about thoughts. And this live tells you it's not just about the thoughts. But your thoughts are very, very important because your thoughts are going to tell you whether you're going to focus on it and make it grow and live, or you're going to calm yourself down, desensitize yourself to these feelings, these symptoms that you're having, right? You got to change your focus. This making sense, ladies? Can you give me a 1, a yes? Anybody need clarification? Everyone's good? And then after you change, when you change your focus, do something. Move on. Go do something. Do something that is going to, this is where I talk about regulating a dysregulated system. It's getting back in control of your emotions, your behaviors, okay? So do some journaling, okay? Do something that's going to bring down that central nervous system. Tell that vagus nerve to calm down. We want the parasympathetic to be more prominent. How do we do that? By decompressing. We're breathing, we're meditating, doing a little progressive muscle relaxation, tapping, doing things to help us calm down. That all making sense? If you keep focused on the negativity, on that symptom with a negative light, trying to fix and fix and fix and fix, you're frustrating yourself. You're getting overwhelmed because nothing's working and you're frustrating yourself. You're adding fear upon fear, anxiety upon anxiety. It just keeps going and going and going. It's a vicious cycle. I promise you, you gain awareness. You have more acceptance. You take proper action. You're going to have freedom, ladies. But you need to remain consistent with what you do. Every once in a while, you're going to have a setback. And I just feel the need to talk about this a little bit. I have lives on all of these things I'm saying separately. I have a whole live on awareness, a whole live on acceptance, a whole live on self-regulation and the gut and health, a whole live on setbacks. So if any of what I'm saying interests you, go catch those lives in the guide section and familiarize yourself. So understand a setback is a normal part of your recovery. Because a lot of you will say to me, I don't understand. I was doing so good. For years, everything was under control. And then I had this stress come along and I'm like back where I was, worse than before. Well, ladies, the thing is, perhaps a couple things here are taking place. Maybe you're not continuing to practice all of these tools that you're learning, all this information that you're learning. You just started to feel well and went, okay, I feel well. And then you stopped and you thought you were good as gold right there. Not understanding that if you don't keep going and keep practicing, the next time stress comes into your life, if you don't build a bigger muscle, you don't make changes in your mindset, if that change hasn't taken place, it's going to come back. You got to keep going. And as you go, you're going to have good days, you're going to have bad days. It's the way progress is made. But in those bad days, it's what you tell yourself. Again, this is where thoughts come in. How you talk to yourself. How are you supporting yourself? What are you telling yourself? If you're telling yourself, oh no, again, I'm going all the way back to the beginning. See, this doesn't work. None of these tools work. If it worked, I wouldn't be having this problem. You're not telling yourself the truth, because that's false information. A setback is part of recovery. It's going to happen. It's how you deal with it. That's going to determine if you stay stuck or if you learn from that setback and go 10 steps forward, so to speak, right? Your recovery is it's all you versus you. It's you versus you, ladies, and I know you can't stand hearing that, because that makes you responsible. But nothing outside of you, okay, is giving you the anxiety. It's your reaction. Your illness, I get it. Your condition that you have, your disease you have, there are certain conditions that can be anxiety producing. Like I have thyroid issue, and one of the things could be anxiety. Also, I have perimenopause, and one of the things that you can get from that is anxiety. It sets off hormones. But because I know what I know, I have great awareness and acceptance. I'm good. I keep everything in check. So any symptoms, I just know how to cope with it. I know how to deal with it. I have good intuition. That's the last thing I want to talk about, and then I'm going to go. Intuition. Intuition, ladies. Okay. Now, are you listening to what your body's telling you? That's having intuition. That when you're sitting, when you're recovered like me, okay, meaning anxiety no longer controls your thoughts, your feelings, you have control, okay? When I have a symptom, I sit with it. And my intuition kicks in. It's a hunch. It's a gut feeling, which is why I had to talk about gut. Remember, this is second brain, okay? That gut's trying to tell you something. And when it's dysregulated, when your body is making decisions because of fear, that intuition goes away, because fear is taking control. Anxiety is taking control. But when everything is working well together, your intuition's working for you, okay? You can listen and trust in that feeling. It's that hunch that you're getting, something that you sense to be true or correct without needing evidence, okay? So when you're working with with intuition, when you're working off intuition, okay, you're calm because you just know. So you're not having this emotional reaction. You're not having this great fear. When you're intuitive, you don't need reassurance. You're assured. You're listening, you're trusting, you're interested in what your body's trying to tell you. It's when you add the emotion to that symptom, when you add fear, okay? When you become anxious about it because of uncertainty, it consumes you. The difference between anxiety and fear, just very quickly, because it sounds like I'm using them as they're one, but they are different. Fear can actually motivate you and make you take action. Anxiety, usually when anxiety consumes us, we don't take action. Anxiety, usually we become very, oh my gosh, like we're so consumed. We become withdrawn, and we focus so much on what we're feeling that we lose all control. We let the emotional mind take over. And now fear is doing all the thinking for us. Oh, all the decision making for us. So now we overthink everything, right? We're so consumed. We're overthinking things. We're making decisions not based on facts sometimes, but based on fear. This is why we really have to listen. We have to know. We have to understand who we are. Before I go, I just want to know, are there any questions? I said a lot today in this live. Is there anything that I talked about that you would like any clarity on? I don't see any questions in the comments. A lot of you talking that you went on Google, that you resonated with that. Makes sense. Okay. Okay, Danielle asks, if you don't change your diet, can you still heal your gut? To my knowledge, no. I mean, unless Danielle, you're telling me that you already have like the best diet, and you still have an unhealthy gut. Stress is the number one cause of a lot of things going wrong in the body. Stress, sets off that vagus nerve and makes things go out of whack. And it also, talks to the gut and the gut's going to react differently. So, it's a combination of everything, having a healthy lifestyle. But unless you're telling me you already have a healthy diet, I would say you would probably have to change something else. How's your sleep? How's your stress? How are you reacting to the stress in your life? And, can you remain calm? That's what resilience is about. Resilience, when you're somebody who's resilient, it's how you bounce back from stress. Are you resilient? The way to build confidence and resilience is all in the doing. It's seeing that as you're taking care of these things, as you're sitting with those symptoms, and as you're following all these things that I'm telling you to do, and you're making progress, you're like, ooh, it works. And if I just, like, you're starting to cheerlead yourself, you're becoming your own, you don't need anything or anybody outside of you. You are becoming your own safe person. You're the one, that you understand that you're the one, the only one who can make yourself feel better. So I don't know what your diet's like, Danielle, but if you're eating a lot of sugar, processed foods, and the one thing that I can tell you, I'm going to give you all a really big tip here. Omega-3. Omega-3 is really good for the gut. We don't get a lot of it. We need omega-3 to have a healthy gut. So you may want to take a supplement, all right? But if you're eating like a lot of seed oils, so things like roasted nuts, if you eat out a lot, so I'm thinking where you eat at the restaurants. And I know this because when I eat out, I make sure the restaurants do not make any of my food with oil, or if they do, it's extra virgin olive oil. If you are going to restaurants and all your food is made in canola oils, um, what's the other one? Soybean oil, very bad. That is not good for your gut. Your gut's going to feel it. It's very processed. All these things, these processed things are going into your gut, and your gut's going, what the heck? What do I do with this stuff? That's why you get holes in your gut, and chemicals are being poured into your bloodstream. And it goes from there. Omega-3s, we want to have a good balance of omega-3 and omega-6, a balance of it. So when omega-3 levels are low, the vagus nerve will not work optimally. So we need omega levels to be optimal. And you can get your omega levels checked by the doctor. So when you go to the doctor, say, hey, can you check my levels? Vitamin D is also good. Vitamin D is essential. It really is important to take vitamin D. Check your vitamin D levels, your omega levels. You can even check the inflammation in your body. Ask for these tests. You may have to pay extra for them. I don't know, but if you know that I have high inflammation, you can work to decrease the inflammation in your body. Fix your gut. Do what you can to calm the vagus nerve. You want to really start helping the vagus nerve to desensitize. Get the parasympathetic more prominent. Can change how you respond to stress, to the anxiety. And ladies, you'll be golden. I'm new to this anxiety and panic. I just came out of nowhere. I'm actually about to get off the live, but if you rewatch this live, you will gain a lot of knowledge, okay? And I have the guide section where I talk about, in my guide section, there are a lot of I have a whole library of my live trainings. And you will see things on anxiety, what anxiety is, why you have it, or why you still have it and haven't overcome it. I've tried to touch on different things. So what I would do is go to the guide section, guide 1, look through my library of all my live trainings, see what resonates with you. And they will really help you to have more awareness about the anxiety that you're having and why you have it. I also have a live specifically on panic, all right? So ladies, thank you for joining me today. You may want to rewatch this because the viewers have changed. I had a lot, then it went down, then it went up. So some of you have not watched this whole thing. So I please tell you, watch this. You need to watch the whole thing because you missed a lot. Everything said here today, well, everything I say on all my lives is important. I mean, I wouldn't say it if it wasn't important. But I combined a lot in one because this is such important information. So when you have symptoms, ladies, you have everything you need to deal with those symptoms. I don't think I left anything out, but if you have any comments and you need any clarity, you have any questions, please put it in the comments. Please message me. And ladies, if you still don't understand, even after watching this, if you're implementing the things you learn in my lives, you still don't understand, you're having a hard time, let's talk about how else I can support you and how we can get you over that hump and get you to change how you deal with stress, with anxiety, so you could start living that life that you really want for yourself. Have that freedom. Start feeling peace and happiness again. What are your thoughts of PPPD and anxiety connection? Sorry, I missed most of your life thing. Okay. Um, okay. PPPD. All right. Well, there is a connection for sure. I this live is not about PPPD, but you're like the third or fourth mom who's asked me about it, so I'm wondering if I should do a live about it. Actually, I have actually. Um, I've done a live on that. It's not in the guide section though. I don't think I put it in the guide section. I think it's something that lives in the feed. I am going to write your name down. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I could find it. And I'm going to send you the link to that live. Is that okay? Because I need to go. I can't get into a whole thing about that, but I did do a live on it. So you're scared to go outside. So that's one of your side effects of having anxiety. So do what I said before. Go into the guide section. I have plenty of trainings about anxiety, why you have it. I've not been diagnosed, but I deal with PPD like symptoms that are affecting the quality of life. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It definitely would affect your quality of life for sure. I mean, I'll just say quick when there was a time where I felt like I wasn't sure if what I was experiencing was real. Like I felt like, am I in a dream? I felt like things around me were like, I don't know, they didn't feel real to me. It was weird. So I totally get it. And I did do something on it. Let me send you that link. But definitely check out my other lives that could give you so much clarity on what you're feeling and why. And please rewatch this one. All right, ladies, I gotta go, but be well. Take